Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In today's videos, we're going to be discussing balancing chemical reaction. Chemical reactions is a process in which one or more substances, which is the reactant, are converted to one or more different substances, which is the product. So in other words, a reaction should have a reactant and a product. So here NaOH plus HCl is serving as the reactant, and this arrow is what you call the yield arrow. NaCl plus water is serving as a product. So in a reaction, you should have a reactant and a product, and also they should be separated by an yield arrow. Let's look at some examples. We have 3 examples here. Our first example is saying we have ethene plus oxygen giving us CO2 plus water, and we will ask to balance this reaction. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to check the reaction, check the total number of elements on both sides. So the first thing we're going to do, the total number of elements should be equal to both sides. So we have 1 carbon, we have 2 carbon, and here we have 1 carbon. We have 6 hydrogen, and here we have 2 hydrogen. Here we have 2 oxygen, and we have 2 oxygen plus 1 is 3. So the entire element in this reaction is actually not balanced. So we have to fight to balance the entire element in this reaction. So the first thing we're going to do is to balance carbon. Here we have 2 carbon, and here we have 1 carbon. So we're going to ask ourselves 1 times what number give us 2. So it's 1 times 2 give us 2. So we're going to write 2 behind this carbon. So now we have 2 here, carbon becomes 2, and this carbon becomes 2. The next thing we're going to do is to balance hydrogen. We have 6 hydrogen, we have 2 hydrogen. 2 is the smallest, 6 is the biggest. So 1 number times 2 is going to give us 6. So it's 2 times 3 giving us 6 normally. So we're going to write 3 in front of water to make hydrogen balance. So the next thing we're going to do now is to balance oxygen. So oxygen is 2, and oxygen here is 2 times 2 here is 4, and then we have 2 times 2 here is 4. So we have 4 oxygen, and then 3 times 1 here is 3. So we have 3 oxygen. So 3 plus 4 is 7. In total, we have 7 oxygen in product, and we have 2 oxygen in reactant. This becomes so troubling because we're going to ask ourselves 2 times what number give us 7. Of course, it's decimal number. We're not going to get whole number if we times 2 by any number. So what we're going to do in this case is to divide the number of oxygen, which is 7, by the number of oxygen in the reactant, which is 2. And we're going to put this fraction normally to the side that have the lesser oxygen. So we have 7 and we have 2. So this have lesser oxygen. So we're going to write 7 over 2 here. So in this case, we want to get rid of this fraction. So in getting rid of this fraction, we're going to put this whole entirety in a bracket so that we can get rid of this fraction. And times by the denominator, which is 7 over 2. So we have 7 here. 2, we're going to times this whole reaction by 2. Because the denominator of this fraction, 7 over 2, is 2. So the next thing we're going to do is to times 2 by everything. So we're going to say 2 times this compound. Going to give us 2C2H6. Of course, the next thing we're going to do is write our plus sign. And we're going to times this 2 and this 2 going to cancel, of course. So we're going to get 7 or 2, of course. And the next thing we're going to do is write our arrow. And next thing we do is 2 times 2. So this 2 times this 2, we're going to get 4, of course. So we get 4 CO2. And then the next thing is we times this 2 by this 3, 2 times 3. Of course, we're going to get 6 H2O. So in this case, our reaction is balanced. Let's check and see. So we have 2 times 2, we have 4 carbon. and we also have 4 carbon here. 2 times 6 we have 12 hydrogen, and 6 times 2 we have 12 hydrogen. 7 times 2 we have 14 oxygen, and then 4 times 2 we have 8 oxygen here. 6 times 1 we have 6 oxygen. 6 plus 8 give us 14. So when we do this, it means we balance this reaction. So we move to the next reaction. Next reaction, we have Na2CO3 plus HCl give you NaCl plus H2O plus CO2. The next thing we're going to do is to balance this reaction. We have 2 sodium, 1 sodium, 1 carbon, 1 carbon. And then we have 3 oxygen, 3 oxygen. We have 1 hydrogen, 2 hydrogen. We have 1 chlorine, 1 chlorine. So hydrogen is not balanced, sodium is also not balanced. The next thing we're going to do is to balance sodium first. So because we have 2 sodium here, we want to balance this. So 1 time, 1 number give us this 2. It's of course 2. So we put 2 in front of sodium. Sodium becomes balanced. The next thing we do is to balance carbon. Carbon here becomes 2. So because we want for this carbon to be 2, and so we ask ourselves, 1 time what number give us this 2 chlorine, not carbon, of course this 2 chlorine. So we're going to balance this. So 1 time what number give us 2? Of course 1 time 2. So we're going to put 2 in front of this chlorine, making chlorine balance. These 2 obviously affect hydrogen, and of course hydrogen here is also 2. So that makes this reaction balanced. If you also check this, so sodium, you're going to see sodium here is 2, and sodium here is 2. Carbon here is 1, and then carbon here is 1. Oxygen is 3, 1 plus 2. Of course oxygen here becomes 3, and then hydrogen is 2. Of course hydrogen is 2. Chlorine is 2. Chlorine is 2.